Hey y'all, welcome back to the Brown Heart Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Samantha Edu. Y'all, this episode almost did not happen because I have been going through it. I mean, like, take me through there type of going through it. It wasn't that I didn't know what to say, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. But really, it just felt like my brain short circuited. I thought about recording an episode about being laid off and how that has impacted me. And honestly, that story just feels so unfinished in my body that I just decided I wasn't going to force it. Instead, I want to talk about how I'm ending this year and maybe how you are choosing to end your year too. This episode will be coming out on December 23rd, which will give us 8 days left in the year. And for some of us, the goal is not to finish strong. The goal is just to finish, okay? And that's where I'm at. But before we go any further, y'all know how we start our Brown Heart Wellness podcast with an affirmation. I give myself permission to finish this year with compassion. I do not measure my worth by how I end. I honor what I have carried this year and how I have shown up for myself. I had to remind myself of something this last quarter. I was in a meeting and it was it was very motivational, and we were talking about our wins for the year, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna talk about the wins. And it was really like I was dreading it because this last quarter has been like hell for sure, for reals. And but I had to remind myself that one season does not make a whole year. And although this stretch has been heavy for me, there's been uncertainty, there's been a lot of internal processing, a lot of curiosity about myself. There's been quiet in places I didn't expect to feel quiet. And it would be easy to let this part override everything else that I have experienced, all the joy, all the gratitude, all the lessons that I have experienced over the year. And when I look back at the full year, honestly, I see so much growth, so many moments where I have been stretched, so many opportunities I didn't have before. I see lessons that change the way that I think and how I move. No, not everything worked, right? But that was all a part of doing one brave thing, not being attached to the outcome. Everything is not going to always come together neatly, but a lot of meaningful things happened. If you're feeling disappointed with how the year is ending, I really want you to pause and just look at the whole picture, right? Not to reframe it, not to put some toxic positivity over it. You just want to see it clearly for what it is, right? And I found myself like one of the things that I did at some point over this last quarter was I just went back and looked at all my photos from January up until now and just kind of had so many moments where I was able to look at them and just laugh, giggle. It took me back, when I was just full of joy, like I was overflowing, I was in my own flow. I was doing all of the things that were in alignment with what I wanted to be doing. I was being loved on. I was loving on other people. It was really beautiful to do that. I took a trip back down in my journal. Now, let me tell y'all something, okay? Sometimes you can go down that memory lane in that journal and it will definitely take you back through there. So be very careful when you choose to do that. But I just needed to be able to go back and get those reminders that, wow, so many beautiful things happened this year. And so many things happened that I did not plan also. You know what I'm saying? So two things can be happening at one time, and that's okay, right? Because we can hold multiple things. We are multifaceted people, right? I kind of been thinking about what this has felt like. And I have examples of this in my journal, but the one that came to me today was when I was in PE in high school. I hated PE because I just really wasn't trying to do all that running. But one of the things they had us doing was called relays, where you run to the end of the gym. You touch the floor, you run back, and then you do it again. So it's like you just doing it back and forth. Run, touch the floor at the other side, and then you come back. Run, touch the floor at the other side. I hated these. Do you hear me? And I always started out strong. I was fast. I was focused. I was competitive because I wanted to get it done. Then, after a while, my legs started getting heavy. I couldn't get back up as quickly. I wasn't, at some point, I wasn't even touching the floor. You know how you run back down there and you're like, ugh, I just did a little bend so it looked like I touched the floor, just enough for them to say, okay, that's fine. By the end, I wasn't even worried about the points. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I wasn't trying to beat anybody. I was just trying to finish. That is what I was trying to do. That's how this year feels. Like, I'm just trying to finish. I'm not trying to finish strong. I'm not trying to finish resilient. I'm not trying to finish like extra super energized. I'm not trying to finish polished. I'm just determined to finish. And I need to say this very clearly. Finishing tired still counts. Okay? Finishing tired at the end of a race still counts. You are not failing because you slowed down. You are responding to what your body and your life has required of you. Some seasons are about endurance, right? And endurance deserves compassion. This season, for so many people, I did like this post where I was like, fourth quarter has felt like a Tubi movie. And, people were responding to it, laughing at it, agreeing with it. It has felt like, wow, we just got to make it through. We just got to keep doing our breaths. We just have to keep encouraging each other. We just, lean into community. If one of us is not bending to make it at the end of the gym, we just have to keep grabbing that other person and say, hey, I got enough energy. Come on, I got you. Let me hold your hand. Let me get you back to the other end. Taking that time to really see what it is that we're needing in order for us to finish strong. That is the compassion that we need. So here we are. Here we are. 8 days left. At the time that this comes out, we'll have 8 days left. And I have been hearing people talk about, I've been thinking about my resolutions. I've been thinking about what I want 2026 to look like and my goals for 2026. And I don't have any of that. I don't have a checklist. I don't even have my vision board set up. I don't have any of those things. I'm just trying to finish. What I do have is hope. I have hopes. I hope that we remember the dreams that we tucked away because life got really loud. Life got really loud and it really destabilized me, right? And in that destabilization, it felt like those dreams had to go away for a little bit so I can I can't even focus on that. I got to get on my own 2 feet. Like where I stand is where I am, you know? And my hope is that we start to remember those dreams that we tucked away because life got loud. Not because we're trying to force those dreams back into action and we're trying to go 100 miles per hour like we've done before, right? Because we're not necessarily trying to return to the pace of work that we were just surviving in. We are actually trying to learn to thrive in this new season that we've been gifted with, but that will take time, right? The goal and the hope is just to bring those dreams out and remember that they exist. Remember that they are there and they deserve to be honored. I hope we notice where our voices went quiet this year. I know that we did some conversations around using our voice And we've learned to use our voice. If you have been doing your one brave thing, you've been using your voice, right? And I hope you notice where your voice went quiet this year, where tension made you hold your breath just a little bit, where we stopped saying what mattered because the environment around us became so tense and we were trying to keep the peace or we were trying not to shake the boat a little bit. You know, I hope we remember where our voices went quiet. I hope we remember that our bodies belong to us. That movement doesn't have to be extreme to be healing, that small movements count. Our bodies deserve to be ours again. We deserve to be one with our bodies again, to hear our bodies speak to us, to look at our bodies, to feel sensual. We deserve that. So, my hope is that we come back home to our bodies. I hope we let go of expectations that kept us tight instead of grounded, like ideas about how things are supposed to look by now. I'm not supposed to be in this situation right now. I'm not supposed to be looking for this information. I'm not supposed to be considering these different insurance options. I'm not supposed to be wondering what is next for me in my life right now. I hope that we let go of expectations of what's supposed to be and we learn and give ourselves grace enough to just be. And I hope in these last days of 2025 that we choose one small brave thing. Nothing dramatic, nothing performative, just one small brave thing. One. That's it. That's it. My one small brave thing was getting back on this microphone. It's been a long time, about 2 months, maybe more. And that destabilization took me away from the microphone. And so I've sat here and attempted this multiple times. And today I said, no, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to plan. I know what I want to say. I've been thinking about this. And I'm going to record. I'm going to let go of perfection. I'm going to let go of a strategic plan. I'm going to do what I know to do, what I've trained myself to do over this last year with Brown Heart. And I'm going to show up. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 10 minutes. It's okay. Open your mouth. Take one brave step. And that's what I'm doing. As I'm ending this year, I really want to name something that has become so close to my heart. I've been building something called the Hall Pass, and it's for women who are in transition, who are going through career shifts and just employment transition. Those who have been impacted by layoffs. We have heard so many times up to 600,000 Black women now have been impacted by layoffs. The Hall Pass is about access, care, and not having to navigate change alone. It connects really closely to what we're talking about today. Finishing tired, finishing in community, needing permission, moving through uncertainty without pressure to have a plan. The Hall Pass is a The Hall Pass is a space for us to give ourselves permission to be in community with others, to do something that brings us joy, to learn something new that might just be the ticket, this might be the thing that takes us into our next season. The Hall Pass is sponsored opportunities for women who are going through employment transition to sign up for the Hall Pass, and every week you'll get an email with opportunities where you can participate in an event, and it's a sponsored event, and you show up, you have a good time, and that is it. That is it. Because community takes care of community. And for many of you, it's time for a community to take care of you. I'll be sharing more about the Hall Pass in the show notes. I'm also opening space for new coaching clients as we head into the new year. Now, this is not for people who trying to rush, trying to solve their problems quickly. Listen, this is for people who really want support while they try to figure things out. Like, it takes time. So I'm sharing this simply because it reflects how I'm choosing to move right now with intention and with compassion. All right, y'all. I know it's been a long time, but y'all know how we're going to end our Brown Heart Wellness podcast with a Brown Heart Mindful moment. So let's pause together, connecting with your breath, if that feels available to you. Feet on the ground, noticing your seat, the support beneath you. Take a slow breath in, hold, and let it out without forcing. Ask yourself quietly, what does finishing this year with compassion look like for me? What does finishing this year with compassion look like for me? No planning it, no strategic meeting. What would it take for these 8 days? What do I need? Just noticing. If you are finishing this year tired, stressed, stretched, you are not behind. If you're quieter than usual, you're not invisible. If all you did was keep going, that matters. Before this year ends, ask yourself, what is one brave thing I can do before the year is over? What is one brave thing? Tie that into the question of finishing the year with compassion. What would that look like? Thank you all so much for being here in 2025. Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding space for me. Thank you for being a part of the One Brave Thing community. From my brown heart to yours. Thank you for finishing, even if it wasn't pretty. I'll talk to y'all in 2026.